Schlockmeisters fans, another private screenings movie. Actually, it's been a while. This one's called The Chambermaid's Dream, otherwise known as Frustration. Let's check it out. This is Agnes on the left and Adelaide on the far right. Adelaide's staying with her sister and her sister's husband, who you just saw leave.
Around half an hour. Well, he forgot his pipe.
This is Michel, Agnes's husband. He's come home.
Were the roads very icy?
Not too bad.
Adelaide, it would appear, is a little jealous of her sister's relationship. I don't know if it's the fact that her sister has a relationship and she doesn't, or that Adelaide wouldn't mind having Michel. She can hear them in the throes of passion. In a truly bizarre scene, Adelaide imagines herself going down a hallway, and inside each door is her sister and Michel in the throes of passion, in a different position every time. She then fantasizes of what she could do with Michel. Can't show you much more.
Michel has a mistress.
So she tells her sister that Michel is a mistress. I can't show you because she's standing up in the bathtub.
I've seen them. And the kind of modesty that you find in young whores. Very young. Into all that you were and all that you had, you've almost completely disappeared. You've settled into some sort of cozy sexuality. You think you're happy with Michel. And you believe that profoundly.
A young couple that had car trouble shows up.
Where are you coming from?
Paris.
And where are you going?
Cologne.
They don't add much to the plot, but Adelaide does watch them have sex later. Although she apparently doesn't think too highly of them.
They're all just bitches. Worse. Guilty whores. Stinking whores.
There she is spying on them. But then she joins them. I'm not sure if this is a fantasy or not, to be honest with you. As the film progresses, Adelaide's fantasies start to go into the S&M stuff.
I know the question is absurd. You could say pitifully bourgeois and anachronistic. But why does every man cheat on his wife?
More S&M fantasies.
By the appetite of the flesh. She has abandoned herself to sensuality under the influence of the evil one. You must punish the sensuality in her soul, because only thus can she find solace. Only torture can cleanse her soul of all its guilt.
I'm not sure what weirdness is happening here.
You've been talking about it for days. It wasn't true. Tell me the truth. Does Michel have a mistress? No. You must be crazy. Crazy. Crazy!
And then things get really weird when Adelaide decides to get all sexy
Tonight I'll rock you to sleep in my arms.
and hop into bed with her sister Agnes.
I remember those nights. You recite poetry, adventures, stories.
I can't show you any of the naughty bits that happen next, but yes, it's sister and sister. Now, I don't know if Adelaide is feeling guilty or what, but for a really long, protracted scene, which ends in this, she's pulling out this slash or cross slash dagger. She heads over to Agnes, who is sleeping in bed. Now, did she stab her sister? The answer is no. She staggers downstairs. Apparently, she stabbed herself. And that's our movie. All right, let's talk about this private screenings movie called The Chambermaid's Dream. Do you remember this busty chick in the movie? I don't, but very typical for private screenings of VHS tapes in the 80s. This movie is not available on DVD in this country. It is available on a DVD in France under the title Frustration, but it doesn't have any English audio on it. So I copied the VHS tape and burned it onto a disc, which is what I reviewed. So anyway, the movie itself is an odd one, especially for a private screenings movie. It is filled with nudity and stuff, which is what those private screenings movies were looking for. But I don't know how to describe this movie exactly. We have a woman who lives with her sister and her sister's husband. They live in a, I don't know, it's not a mansion really, but it's a house somewhere in the woods or something, rural, I guess in France. I don't know. Anyway, she seems to be jealous that her sister and her husband have a relationship. And she hears them blinking one night and she gets jealous of that. Then she starts having these fantasies where she is sleeping with Michel, her brother-in-law. And she enjoys herself while she's having all these fantasies. And we see those fantasies kind of played out. Some weird sequences where she's running down a hallway, opening a door. And every time she opens a door, she sees her sister and her brother-in-law in a sexual position, frozen. It's very strange. As the movie progresses, there's really not much more plot that goes on in this movie other than this constant jealousy she has. But as the movie progresses, her fantasies become more and more violent, I guess you could say. There's a lot of S&M play stuff going on. And then it gets really weird when it gets incestuous. I don't know. I didn't know for sure if this was a fantasy, if it was in her head or was really happening, but there's a fantasy involving her sister, some incestuous stuff, and then there's a threesome with her sister and her brother-in-law. Again, I don't think that actually was a fantasy, though. I think that actually happened. I think she did get it on with her sister. So we had some incestuous lesbianism going on in this movie, which don't see a lot of that in movies except on the porn channels. And then near the end of the movie, she pulls out this cross. She keeps looking in a mirror for the longest time, and she pulls out this cross, this crucifix, and it's like a knife almost. It's got a very sharp stabbing. It's like a dagger almost. And she goes over to her sister who's sleeping. She's always been jealous of her sister too. And then she lifts up the knife or the cross and it cuts away. And we hear a scream. Next thing you know, we see her stumbling down the steps, not the sister, although I don't see any blood on her. But she comes in and Michel comes home and he looks really scared and worried. Next thing you know, she basically sees the statue of Jesus, or is it Mary? I don't know. And then she collapses in the living room floor with blood coming out of her mouth. So I guess we're led to believe that she stabbed herself, harikari, right? Although again, there was no hole in the dress she was wearing. There was no blood anywhere on her person until we saw her collapse. So I don't know. Maybe her blouse was open and she stabbed herself in the gut and buttoned up before she came downstairs. But it looked like the exact same outfit, and it didn't look like it was any different from when she was in the bedroom. So who the hell knows? But clearly she was, I guess, dead, and that's how our movie ended. I don't know how to describe this movie. Plenty of nudity in this movie, if that's what you are looking for, and that's what most private screenings viewers were looking for back in the day. Strange film. But was it a bad film? No, just odd. So anyway, we will leave it at that. So I'll leave a link down below if this is available on Amazon. Off the top of my head, I don't know if it is. I'm pretty sure the VHS might be. The Frustration DVD in French might be there. It might have subtitles, though. I'm not sure. But anyway, I will leave a link to whatever I can for you. So check it out. Let me know if you've ever seen this movie. And if you have, leave some comments. If you haven't, leave some comments. Watch it. Bye. The Chambermaid's Dream. Look at those boobs. Not in the movie.